Hey guys, I'm gonna try and do something a little different here. I got something on my mind I want to talk through while I'm doing something here, so this might be a few minutes. And if you're watching this has probably been heavily edited down because I'm probably gonna say too much. But today I'm gonna reach down and grab something. Today there was a post on socials. Some of you guys follow the artist Magdalene Rose. She is a solo artist. Her and her husband Blaze, they play in the band along with some other guys, and she is like I said, the wife of Blaze, who is the son of Joseph Rojas, Seventh Day Slumber. Some of you guys know what they do. You know, it's a ministry band, very ministry focused. And I'm trying to do something. I'm going to put on some makeup while I'm doing this, and if this is a train wreck, you will never see it online, but had this on my mind, so I'm going to try this. And I got some Q-tips, and I'm going to try and make a point here. And I'm going to try and exercise the fruits of the Spirit and not say things I don't need to say. And if you don't know what the fruits of the Spirit are, look it up in the New Testament. So Magdalene was posting this message on, I think I saw it on Facebook, might have been Instagram, but it's kind of gotten around a little bit, I think, in the last few hours. But Magdalene Rose looks very gothy, if you know what that is. A lot of black makeup, wears gothy clothes, plays music that's loud, you know, stuff that's metal-ish that a lot of us like. And I just got out of the shower here, so I got wet hair, and I'm gonna try and, I'm wearing my Death Therapy shirt, so Jason Wisdom, if I get anything on this shirt, I apologize. I'll just have to order another one. So I want to try and do some of this makeup while I'm talking here. Not saying I'm going to try and be Alice Cooper, but I'm going to just kind of talk through this. So it might be terrible, but let's figure it out together. Magdalene did a typed out message that basically said that some of their shows, I think coming up in the spring or the summer, had been canceled due to some people in the church who didn't like the way that she dressed. She didn't give all the details, but I'm guessing that it was probably some older people in the congregation, quote unquote, of the church. I'm gonna use quotes on church because this could be religious people, not necessarily Christ-filled people, as we call the church. I'm gonna try some, I almost need my glasses just to pick out some of this. So I'm gonna kind of talk while I'm doing this, guys. Like I said, I am not a professional, not trying to be super cool, but I'm gonna see how this looks while I'm applying black eyeliner or some kind of makeup while I am talking here. So anyway, Magdalene Rose, some of you guys may know GFM, which stands for Gold, Frankincense, and Myrrh. They were a threesome sister band, put out music for a long time. Magdalene was the singer of GFM. And then she went off and is doing solo stuff. All the girls are still doing great. But anyway, they use their platform for ministry, if you're not familiar with them. And so I'm going to say Maggie, if that's not insulting to Magdalene. Maggie, I think, also has, I think, a degree in some kind of counseling that she wants to use in her ministry as she talks to young girls about suicide and things that, you know, lots of people can relate to. Hopefully this doesn't turn into me looking like a football player, because honestly, I never really played football. I played a little bit of basketball, but I got cut very early. So anyway, I'm trying to make a point here. Hopefully this doesn't look totally retarded. But Magdalene goes on to say on her post that the churches, there's several churches, I don't think she names them, but they canceled the concert. And understandably, she's upset because they think that she's too worldly or dresses too whatever provocatively, which I don't think so. I don't think her husband thinks so, who's the drummer in the band. I don't think the father-in-law Joseph thinks that either. But proceeds to talk about canceling shows because this is not, wearing black makeup or screaming or whatever it is not Christ-like or whatever. And I don't know what rock people have to live under to know that it's 2026 and there's lots of bands out there that wear black, that scream. I think I just ruined part of my eyeliner stuff here. So luckily I do have a towel to kind of doctor some of this up. So but don't tell my wife. It's not a good towel. It's not a good towel. Just letting my wife know. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit and unpack some thoughts. I know I haven't done a podcast in a while, but Magdalene's obviously upset at not being able to perform. I don't know if there's going to be any kind of reach out from the band to these churches or whatever that I guess canceled the shows or whatever it is. In case any of you are thinking, some of the music that I'm going to be doing, I really want to kind of get into this vibe, makeup, and I will have a professional do this part because I'm just going to look like a raccoon here on, Jelly Roll or something, or whoever I might look like, which I'm not trying to. So anyway, I was a little bit more upset with this a few minutes ago, but I'm kind of calmed down a little bit, but you can probably get where I'm going with this. Magdalene, I want you to know that your ministry is going to do amazing things and is doing amazing things because you're using your testimony, first of all, and that's something that Satan can't fight back against. He has no power to take that away from you. And I know you know this because you're part of a good church, a good family, and God's done a lot of things in your life, but I want to encourage you, and I want to say Seventh Day and Magdalene have already had shows canceled for this type of thing, and understandably, I could understand why this would be like you're making a financial investment in, touring as a band, which I've never done, always wanted to. Lots of great bands out there do it. I wanted to encourage Blaze as the husband and Joseph and the guys in the band. This isn't anything new. You guys have probably been dealing with this kind of stuff for a while, but I wanted to issue a challenge to, if you're any kind of Christian metal, punk, goth, industrial, whatever band, and I want to ask you if you've never had a show canceled because of the way you look, maybe it's time to turn up the heat. Because when you're piercing the darkness is going to fight back. And I understand that canceling a show is probably pretty mild compared to some stories that you hear online that some Christian bands that have been doing this stuff for decades find out. But I want to challenge you guys that play in bands and you're wearing black shirt and black jeans, which to me, I think metal's kind of gotten lazy and only just showing up in black. Come on, put on some makeup, do some stuff that makes you look a little edgier, and I'm going to try not make too many points in this video, but I want to encourage Magdalene. The darkness is going to push back, but obviously you know that you have Christ fighting for you. You have people out there that are still going to get ministered to. They're going to see these posts that other people have made, such I just saw Nate Parrish, if I said his name right, sorry. I saw him making a post because he's actually toured with these guys and knows what kind of person that she is. And I just think that there's a lot of, I'll be honest with you, I didn't really think there was that many people out there that pushed back on Christian rock, Christian metal, goth, whatever. I know that they're out there. I just kind of figured that there weren't that many. And if I'm wrong, then I need to confess that was wrong of me. I don't run into them a whole lot here in Georgia, but maybe that's because I'm not doing enough stuff for people to push back on me. I don't know. So anyway, I'm not getting a lot of makeup done here really because it's starting to look really sad here, guys. And to my knowledge, this is water-based, so I already took a shower. So hopefully this will come off really easy. So I'm going to look pretty pathetic. So anyway, I want to issue the challenge to you guys in Christian metal bands. If you're not getting shows canceled, I don't mean all the time, but if you've never experienced that, I want you to question what your ministry is doing. I want you to think, are we even doing things that even pierce the darkness? Are we just staying inside the church? Are we playing in clubs? Are we playing in parking lots? Are we having beer bottles thrown at us? And obviously we don't want to look for bad things to happen, but the enemy turns up the heat. And sometimes I think the people of God have got to understand how to fight back in love, obviously, for those people. And I want to issue a challenge to those. If you're in a church and you don't think that Christian metal, Christian punk, whatever your definition is. I thought this argument was over in 1985, honestly, because that's when I started listening to Stryper and bands that were coming out. If you're a kind of person that thinks that God is only honored with hymnal music or or even if it's just Chris Tomlin, if you think, okay, well, Chris Tomlin's okay, but I'm going to listen to Matt Redman, I'm going to listen to Passion, I'm going to listen to, all the cool, worship stuff, then there's people out there that aren't listening to that. And there's people that go to bars and they're got Marilyn Manson turned up. They've got, all the dark stuff turned up. And I just wanted to say those couple of things. I probably had something cooler to say while I was in the shower, kind of thinking stuff up and getting myself sort of worked up, because I know what I was going to say. If I had a daughter, I have 2 grown boys. I don't have any daughters. And so I can imagine if that was my daughter who told me that her band just had a show canceled, I got to imagine I might say some things. And I'm not going to say that I always have the most godly responses to stupid people in the church, but I might make a road trip, or I might make a phone call, because if that was my daughter that was giving up her college degree, she could probably go make, better money doing something else than touring in a Christian band where all people do is listen on Spotify and you don't get paid. I think I'd have some words for those people treating my daughter that way. So that was mainly what I wanted to say. And again, I want to challenge you guys. And I know the cool bands, I'm not going to call you out. You're not going to put on makeup. You're not going to try and be darker because you're older and you're married with kids, or your grandparents or whatever. You're not going to try and look darker, even if your counterparts in the secular world are looking darker. You do what God calls you to do. I don't want to tell you something that's not not encouraging the body of Christ. So I just want to mention those things. I want to encourage you, Maggie. There's many of us out here that are behind you. Thankfully, not everybody thinks that way, or you guys wouldn't be doing it all, obviously. Thankful for the churches, whether it's 20 people or 200 people or 2,000 people that show up for Christian rock, metal, goth, industrial, whatever you want to call it. Because I got to imagine that's honestly making me think through some things that I want to do. I'm an old guy. I'm almost grandparent age, probably am grandparent age. And there's things that I still want to do, and I'm thinking to myself, am I trying to play it safe, or am I out there on the front lines trying to reach people that need it the most? Because if you're singing songs that bless the church, and that's a great thing, if you're a worship leader or you're recording things that that make people feel closer to God, that's great. But if your calling is a little different, and you're thinking, man, I really want to reach those people that are going to bars and they never go to church, or they go to strip clubs, or they do things that don't make their lives better. I'll just leave it like that. I want to encourage you guys maybe to start thinking about how to reach those people. You might think, well, I'm old. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but it starts with a 5, and it wasn't yesterday. So, and I got things I want to do till I'm an old man. Because there's a whole bunch of creepy old guys out there doing secular music, and they don't care. So why does the body of Christ care, or should they care, how old the Christian artist is? So I say heck yeah to the Stripers, the Res Bands, the Petras, even Seventh Day Slumber's been around for a long time. And I think that if you're worried about your age or anything like that, you're thinking you're not cool enough to reach the world, do what you want to do, but I just want you to not do it out of fear or feeling like you're not going to connect, be popular, sell lots of music, So anyway, hopefully this was encouraging. Maggie, we love you. I would give you a hug if you were here with, your husband, because he's kind of a big dude. I'm not going to piss him off. So hope you guys are doing great. And if you care to follow anything that I do, my music is Waynus is my music name, like Wayne and anus shoved together in one word. Waynus, Wanus. IamWaynus.com are my links for my music, and I am working on more stuff. And being that this thing that Maggie wrote kind of hit home a little bit, just kind of made me have some thoughts and made me feel like I need to say some things. So anyway, I'm probably not creepy and cool like you guys are, young kids doing the cool makeup stuff, but wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. So anyway, God bless you guys. Spend time with God today. Get involved in your church. Be a part of the kingdom. Don't try and be an island. Get involved. Love you guys. Bye.